Rode microphones are the official microphones of BeTerrific. Find out more at rodemic.com.
Welcome to the Michael Artsis Show. I'm Michael Artsis. Thanks so much for joining us on BeTerrific. I am so excited today. Long, great weekend. Adam Holtz and I had a lot of fun, spent a lot of time with Jack. It was just unbelievable. All right, there are plenty of ways to reach out to us. First of all, at BeTerrific TV on Twitter and Instagram. Then you've got email, connect@beterrific.com. Of course, you can call us on the phone, 201-735-7711. And you can also employ my favorite way to connect with us, and that is our Slack chat. All you have to do is go to BeTerrific.com/Slack or go to BeTerrific.com/live. Scroll underneath the live video player. You'll see the same sign up you'll see on BeTerrific.com/Slack. It's your name, your email address, and we will send you an invite to join our Slack chat. It's really awesome. We can send files back and forth, communicate with all of you viewers, the Terrifics, in real time, and you can ask your questions. We'll ask it on air. You can make your statements. In addition to that, what's really, really awesome about the Slack chat is that it doesn't just happen when we're live on air. We check in throughout the day. I was talking with our Sheriff Digital Phil and our Deputy CJ last night. That was pretty awesome. I was talking to Ben a little bit over the weekend as well. So Adam Holtz and I had a pretty fun weekend. We'll get to that in 1 second. I just want to say, I know some of you tune in early. I really appreciate that. And you see a test loop. We've been testing to make sure that this all works perfectly and runs smoothly, and we've been continuing to change our infrastructure and to make this work really, really smoothly and well. And so I wanted you to know that if you see that, I am sorry, but realize that it is a test loop, and if you're tired of seeing that same clip over and over again, think about how we feel as we watch it all night long, communicating with our team in India, which in the next few weeks I'll tell you all about as we get it all settled out. But you should see great video on all devices today, with the exception of Android, and you should see commercials in some shape or form, and we shouldn't have any stuttering. So if you do, please let us know, either via email, connect@beterrific.com, or through our Slack chat, and we will work on that. And then, of course, we'll get Android working in the next few days. But we've got this wonderful team working so hard in India, and I have to stay up all night every night to work with them. Even on the weekends. I ran here Friday night after dinner and got some stuff to go. By the way, I did stream to that test off the Teradek Live to Air app, 13 hours straight off of an iPad, and it never quit. We just stopped it because we were done with the test. And eventually we will be running this stuff 24 hours a day, so if you missed anything, you'll be able to catch it probably sooner than we get the archive up, and we'll be adding shows, so that's really exciting. All right, Adam and I had a great, great weekend, especially, well, I had Saturday and Sunday, hung out with Jack all day Sunday and part of Saturday, and Jack's friend Reed and his dad Jesse. We went to the slot car track. That was a lot of fun. Zeppelin Hobbies in Wayne, New Jersey. Jack is getting really good, only 2 years old, but getting really good at the slot cars. It's so interesting, too, what can amuse a 2-year-old. And then we saw this couple. I imagine they were married. I never asked. And they were so fast with their slot cars. It was unbelievable. They had like 5 cars each. They're doing all the tweaks and tuning and oiling of the gears and stick them to the tires. It was unbelievable. A lot of fun to watch. I think I have some video of all this stuff we'll get to later in the show. And then what we really did was the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance 2015. It's an amazing car show. Now, we did the first day, which is really the American car day. And then the second day is the exotics, right? But we did see some exotics on day one, and we wanted to be live, but we just have too much going on right now as we're setting up for all this stuff. So next year, we will be live from the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance. I can say that with almost certainty. I think, Adam, you found it to be an amazing show, as did I. I haven't been in about 10 years, and it's grown tremendously. It's a lot of fun. It was very hot. We had to park like a mile away and walk, but it really was a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, it was a great time there.
And this was your first time there ever, and we saw some really, really amazing stuff. How about that Ferrari 330 P3 P4 that Jim Glickenhaus owns, right?
Yeah.
That thing was unbelievable. We're going to show you all sorts of stuff about that car. But today we've got muscle cars, right?
Right.
There were some amazing muscle cars there. Which car do we have up first? Do you know?
So we're going to do the 1971 Buick Skylark GS.
Okay, so it's the Buick Skylark Grand Sport. That's going to be our first one up. And, check it out. We'll talk about it in the Slack chat and live.
All right, so we're at the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance in Greenwich, Connecticut. It's 2015. That's the year for the show. But we're going all the way back to 1971 with Dave Chabot. This is the American Car Day here, although we'll see some exotics as well. Dave, you've got a beautiful Buick GS. Talk to me about it. It's a very, very special car.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm the third owner of this car. It's a Connecticut car to begin with. I've restored it completely. It's what they call in the Buick Club a senior car. In other words, it gets 395 points out of 400 for authenticity and for workmanship and condition. In 71, the standard engine was a 350. This has got a 455, which is an option. And then when you put that combination of the 455 cubic inch with the convertible, it's one of 165 cars that were made with that particular combination.
Very impressive. What made you want to go after this car to restore it? I mean, you can pick all sorts of different cars. What made this car special for you?
Well, the context for that is that my family has always had Buicks, okay, and I've got a number of Buicks. The oldest one is a 1936 Buick, which is not the actual car, but the model that my grandfather taught me to drive on when I was 13.
Wow. 13?
13.
I like that.
I didn't get arrested.
I used a video game when I was 13, Outrun. That's how I learned to drive.
Yeah. So, and then another one of the cars that I have is the 69 Riviera, which is my father's car. So I'm trying to sort of keep the family tradition going in terms of Buicks. And this is a high-performance car. The group that I belong to, the motto is go fast with class, okay, kind of thing. So they're really quite powerful, quite fast and so forth, but they're also, in a sense, a little bit more luxurious. I like that combination.
I do too. I think that's a good combination. There are several cars today that are made that have that combination of luxury and speed when you can, sit in traffic and then hammer it when there's an opening and it can handle. It's a beautiful car. You've beautifully restored it. How long did it take to put it back together?
It took about a year and a half to get all the right parts, okay, and then it took me about another year, a little over a year to sort of actually do the restoration.
So do you drive it?
Oh, I drive it. But this car has been to Chicago to the Nationals and so forth, okay, so I don't trailer my cars, I drive them.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what else do we have? What other options? Is it? I imagine it's a 4-speed probably.
No, it's an automatic.
It's an automatic, okay.
It's automatic, and it has air conditioning, okay. So it's pretty well loaded. Again, it's got that combination I was looking for, which is performance plus a little bit of luxury.
How did you pick the color?
This is called Bittersweet Mist. It's only on this car and only in 71. And it's the original color.
Wow.
Not the original paint, but the original color of the car.
I'd be very surprised if it was the original paint and it looked that good. I kind of knew that, but I'm surprised that you got the original color and that it's only for that year. It's a rare color. I would think you could have had black or all these other colors if you had tried to stick with the original color. So it's kind of lucky to have such a rare color on the car. Where'd you find the car?
The car is right here in Connecticut. Okay.
So it wasn't that hard.
No, it wasn't that hard.
It's pretty cool. I love this car. I think it's really beautiful. What do you do to have the most fun, or what's been the most fun with the car? Is it taking it to the shows, or is it driving it? Is it showing it to young kids?
Exactly. That's right. I enjoy the fact that as you go to a show, someone will be coming down, and you'll see them kind of go, "Oh my God!" and they'll get down here and they've got a story about how one of these cars was in their family and so forth. So the camaraderie of talking to people and so forth, and seeing them enjoy the car is really what I'm after, kind of thing.
I love it, Dave. Thanks so much for the tour. We've got a whole lot more here for you at the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance. I'm Michael Artsis. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't go anywhere. Stick with us.
Wow, I tossed that back to myself. That car was super cool. I think that was a lot of fun to check that car out. I'm looking forward to driving that thing. I think we're going to make that a Garage Queens episode. That guy has a couple cars. What we learned was that we might be able to shoot a couple of Garage Queens episodes from meeting these guys. There was a lot of cool stuff there. We're going to have some more pictures and talk some more about these cars when we come back. That car was super awesome, though. I like that it was like a little bit more of a sleeper than a lot of other muscle cars. Obviously, the Buick Skylark GS Grand Sport. You gotta love it. I'm not sure I love that color, but the car was cool. The guy was cool, and it's a good story. You know, it's interesting. I never was a big Buick guy, but you see some of these old cars, and they really are sharp. There was a Riviera we're going to talk about, too, when we come back. So we've got a whole lot more for you when we come back. We'll be back right after this on the Michael Artsis Show on BeTerrific.
Rode microphones are the official microphones of BeTerrific. Find out more at rodemic.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Artsis Show. I'm Michael Artsis. Thanks so much for joining us. We got so much going on. We're talking cars, the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance 2015 in Greenwich, Connecticut. You know what's the great part about this show is a lot of these guys drive their cars to the show. You know, a lot of these are garage or trailer queens, but because a lot of these guys are in the Greenwich, New York metro area, they actually drive to this show. So a lot of these cars actually get to see the road going to the show and coming back. This next one, we just saw the Buick Skylark, and I'm going to tell you about this Riviera in a little while, but in the meantime, this next one is a Chevelle Yanko. What is a Yanko, you may ask? I wasn't sure either, but Frank's going to tell us all about it. Super sharp, super cool, and unbelievably fast. You got to check it out right now on BeTerrific from the Concours d'Elegance in Greenwich, Connecticut. Check it out.
All right, we're at the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance 2015 on BeTerrific. I'm Michael Artsis. Thanks so much for joining us. It's a beautiful day out here, and we found Frank Cicerchia, 69 Chevelle Yanko. First of all, tell me about the Yanko.
Yanko was a guy in the 60s that was a famous racer, and he owned a Chevy dealership, and he came up with the idea of manufacturing supercars and selling them to the public. And he was very successful at it. He kind of like started the whole muscle car craze, and he passed away in '87, but he left behind some magnificent machines. And his daughter's still alive today, Lynn Yanko, and she autographed this car. And she used to stripe these cars when she was a child.
When she was a child?
Yep, when she was like 13 to 14, 15, in that area. She would.
Your daughter's not much older than that. Could you imagine letting her stripe the car?
For $5 a piece, it was cheap labor.
The thing that's amazing is basically this guy is a modern day Hennessy or you know, some of these other tuners before Hennessy existed.
Yes, he's the grandfather. He was he had the idea of putting, you know, big motors into regular street cars that an average worker guy could buy and be successful at the track the very next day.
What is the most appealing part about muscle cars in that way? Because if you look at muscle cars, I always think it's because they're kind of sleepers, and I like the idea that they're kind of sleepers in some way, shape, or form, but they're modified, they have a little sharpness to them, a little sleekness to them, and then you can really drive them as a luxury vehicle, which most muscle cars started life as, or then get up and go with them and really pound it. That's it in a package, but is that the allure behind them? Is that what makes them so special? Is like, literally you could drive this to work and maybe the people at the office don't even know you have anything special. Maybe there's a hint because it looks a little bit different, but you know, of course, if this is 69, not today.
Well, you're quite a bit younger than I am, and back when I grew up, street racing for money was the name of the game, and you didn't want your competition knowing that you had a lot of horsepower because they wouldn't bet you. So you would try to make it as you know, what the word I'm gonna use is unsuspecting as possible, and street race, which was at every stoplight, was taking place in America when I grew up, and it's since it's gone, but this is what we grew up with.
So tell me about this car. How'd you get it? How'd you restore it? And what's the deal with it? So let's start with what's the deal. What's special about this Yanko?
They made Chevelle Yankos only 1 year. They made Yanko Camaros 3 years, Yanko Novas 2 years. But they made Yanko Chevelle only 1 year. It was a full-size car for a larger person. And they only made 99 of them. And there's only 35 left in the world known to exist, with 3 with the original engines. This is one of the 3. This car was never raced. This car was always garaged. It was babied. There's 18,000 original miles on it. The original owner's alive and well in Dundee, Florida. And it's got every piece of paperwork since it was new. The guy was a muscle car fanatic, and he cherished it like it should have been cherished. And this car made it through without blowing its motor, and like all the other race car guys, blew it up the weekend. They were only a week old and they blew the engine up. So this car made it through, which is amazing.
That is remarkable. What did you do to restore it, and have you done anything, or is it completely stock?
It's completely stock. I had purchased it from an auction type setting, and it hasn't been shown ever, as far as I know, till today.
Really?
Yeah. It's
Wow.
the first time it's ever been shown to the public.
And was this a special color paint? Did he do a special color paint, or was this a factory paint job?
There was 8 choices of colors you can get with Yankos. This was one of them, Le Mans Blue, which is actually the most popular of them all.
And did you repaint it? Have you? I mean, you've restored this car, or not at all, because it only had 18,000 miles. Didn't really need much except for rubber and a couple of little things.
Yeah, we restored the car, and we did a lot of cosmetic restoration on it to bring it back to its fresh status, because it was laying in warehouses from collection to collection, never seeing the light of day. And when we got it, I realized how special the car was, and then we fixed it up into what you see right now.
How much horsepower?
450.
450 horsepower in 1969. That's pretty ridiculous. I noticed you got disc brakes on the front, drums on the back. I'm impressed that there are discs on the front.
Yes, that was a mandatory Yanko option. They all came with discs, power disc brakes, and drums on the back, every one of them. And rear mount antenna, M21 transmission, and 427, which was installed at which is another unique thing about this car is Yanko convinced and used his popularity to convince General Motors to put the big engines in, which was never done before until this car at 69. And they so it's a factory installed 427 versus somebody putting their own version in the car, which is pretty special. So they made 301 Copo cars, and then Yanko bought 99 of them and converted them to Yanko cars. So when you whittle all the numbers down, you got very few.
Wow. Very, very nice. Do you drive it at all? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I do. I drive it quite a bit.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
I drive
So
it.
more than 18,000 miles now.
I'm going to teach my 16-year-old daughter how to drive stick shift on this car in about 2 months.
That's awesome. Is she excited?
Yes, you better.
I know. She didn't seem excited.
She's holding it in, but she really wants to drive it. I said, fine.
Wow. That's a really cool dad. That's a really nice thing to do.
So you got to bring new generation into this hobby, else it's going to go away with all us elephants. It's got to be. You got to keep it fresh for the kids.
Have you pushed it hard at all? Have you really given it a good spin? It's a parade car now.
I'm not going to lie, no, because it's the original engine, and I don't want a chance hurting it.
I hear that, but I feel like you got to drive it. It's beautiful. Thank you so much, Frank. Congratulations with this, and good luck with teaching your daughter stick on that. That's going to be a little stressful, I think, especially when she stalls the first few times.
Well, if we meet here next year in a couple of dents, you know where they came from.
Thanks. We'll be back with a whole lot more from the Greenwich Concours to Elegance 2015. I'm Michael Artsis. Don't go anywhere.
Look at that. I tossed it to myself. That's so much fun. I love that Yanko. I love the color, first of all. That guy, Frank, was so awesome. His whole family was there, his wife and his daughter. And she seemed really cool. She's like 16, and he's going to teach her how to drive stick on this car. I think that's a little bit crazy. I don't know. I think he's going to be upset. She's going to be nervous. It's not going to work out. But he's a cool dad for letting her try. He wants her to have the story to tell her kids and her grandkids. I learned how to drive on a Yanko Chevelle. Disc brakes on the front. Digital Phil said this in the chat room, the Slack chat. That's pretty impressive, especially back then. Obviously now it's no big deal. You have all 4 wheels are disc brakes. But disc brakes on the front of a car that old, that's very, very impressive. We did have some technical difficulties today just then, so we took a little while to get back on air. I don't know what happened. Honestly, we'll have to figure that out after the show. It certainly was nothing to do with our stream or anything like that. Our equipment here decided it was going to crash. So we'll look into that. Sorry about that, folks, but we're glad to be back. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we have more muscle car madness from the 2015 Greenwich Concours d'Elegance in Greenwich, Connecticut, and a whole lot more to talk about. So don't go anywhere. We'll go long today for that little absence we had, all right? How's that sound? You're the Terrifics. We'll be back right after this because you make BeTerrific special.
Rode microphones are the official microphones of BeTerrific. Find out more at rodemic.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Artsis Show. I'm Michael Artsis. This is like a manic car Monday because we went to the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance in Greenwich, Connecticut, the 2015 Greenwich Concours d'Elegance. We saw amazing cars and we had to bring you some of that action. We just saw the Yanko Chevelle, which, by the way, it won Best American Muscle Car at the show. So I think that's pretty cool. There were a lot of cool cars. There was a Buick Riviera there. That we're going to show you here. This is an amazing story. We're just going to show you some pictures. This guy did not want to go on camera. I tried everything to get this guy on camera. He had the canceled check and the window sticker from the car. This was the first car he ever bought. He bought it for himself when he was 19 years old, paid $6,000, almost the equivalent of $60,000 in today's money when he was 19. He's had it since new. It has 60,000 miles on it. It is pretty much all original, and it's gorgeous. I can't even imagine riding down the boulevard in this thing. This was a Buick Riviera Grand Sport from 1965, midnight blue. The guy is still married to his wife, and she gets to drive it a little too. And this was a gentleman's sports car, but a gentleman's, sleeper. This was a muscle car. And it's just stunning. And it has the original exhaust. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that it has an original exhaust in a beautiful car. So from a 1965 Buick Riviera Grand Sport, the Mac Daddy, to a car that I think is the most iconic muscle car and sought after muscle car in the muscle car space. The most iconic might be actually the AC Cobra, but this is the most sought after, right? Everybody wants one of these and wanted one of these. Not just a GTO, a GOAT, a GTO Judge, of course. This one did not have one feature I love, but don't think is practical, especially if it's bad weather out, though I'm not sure you want to drive these in bad weather. And that is the tack in the hood. This is a 1971, slightly detuned because it was a 71, the best year, 69-70. GTO Judge, Pontiac's muscle car among muscle cars. Check this out. This is Dave Rosenberg. You won't believe this thing. Unreal. He's had it since 1980. Yes, you heard me correctly. Adam, roll the video.
All right, we're here with Dave Rosenberg at the Concours d'Elegance in Greenwich, Connecticut. It's pretty awesome. It's the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance 2015, and you've got a 71 GTO Judge. This is probably the most coveted muscle car, I think. Maybe the AC Cobra is the most recognizable, but this is the most coveted in my mind. This was the one in American Beauty. It's the car that everybody sought after.
Yes, it is. They only made 357 in 1971, so it's hard to come by.
Is 71 the best year in your mind?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's not the most powerful. They did detune it a little bit from previous years, insurance reasons and things like that, but being the low numbers makes it better for me.
And how much did they detune it? What was the horsepower in this car?
This horsepower is right around 335. They lowered the compression ratios. This is 7.5 to 1. They were around 9.5 to 1. Public opinion and the insurance companies it was costing too much.
Certainly very, very cool car, though, no matter what. Talk about this particular car. What's the deal with it?
Well, like I said, this is 4-speed with a Rock Crusher M22 transmission, 393 gears in the back. It's a very quick car, not fast. It really could use an overdrive to make it fast, but from point A to point B, stoplight to stoplight, it's hard to come by. It's hard to catch it.
What, to give people an idea, what was the 0 to 60 time on this car back then?
Well, 0 to 60, you'd probably be in the 12s, you know, some maybe 13s, depending on what tires you had and, you know, what final drive ratio. I mean, 411s would make it a little quicker, but this way you could still drive it on the street with the 393s.
But this was pretty good back then.
Oh, yeah, it was one of the fastest cars to be had, yeah.
How'd you find this car?
This car I found at a gas station for sale in 1980.
In 1980, wow, you've
Yeah.
had it that long.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
Hey, yeah. Well, I'm the third owner. I've had it longer than everybody. Well, back in 1980, it was hard to get gasoline for it. I mean, it gets very poor mileage. I mean, if you're, you know, got a heavy foot, you're lucky to get 5 or 6 miles to a gallon.
Wow, that's pretty awful. Guess we didn't care about that in 71. By
Right.
79, we cared.
That's right. Yeah, it was. Things changed.
What'd you pay for it?
Oh, I don't know if I want to tell you that.
Come on, you got to tell us what you paid for it.
Well, let's say it was less than $3,000.
Wow, that's impressive. How'd you have the insight to keep it?
I just liked the car when it was new. I couldn't afford it, so when it was 8 years old, 9 years old, I was able to afford it, and I just liked it. I just couldn't part with it.
Did you drive it every day back then?
For about a year, I did. Yeah, back in 1980, I drove it every day, and of course, I drove it to the gas station about 3 days out of every 3 days. You know? So
And what did you? When did you restore it, and what did you do to it?
well, over the past, let me see, this car was painted 10 years ago.
Looks great for a 10-year-old paint job.
Yeah, thank you. And since I've owned it, I've done little things here and there. Every year I try to do something. 1 year it was the engine, 1 year it was the body work took about 3 years. And, suspension, things like that. It's mostly original, but I mean, all the rubber parts have been, things that would deteriorate over time have been changed.
Do you drive it?
Oh, well, nice days like this, I don't, drive it, to go anywhere really other than a car.
Just take it out.
Yeah.
Nice. And what about the paint color? Did you pick that, or was that the original paint color?
No, that's an original color. It's called Canyon Copper. And it wasn't the most popular paint color that year. Of course, the Carousel Red was the color that was advertised. But I didn't like it at first, but it has grown on me over the years. I wouldn't have changed it.
It's beautiful. How many points do you get when you get into a show like this? Do they call this? This looks to me, I don't know. I would say this is in the high 90s, is it not?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, it's up there. The problem is not being a red car.
Yeah.
If it's a People's Choice Awards, I don't always do so well because people are just drawn to the red cars.
Sure.
If it were red, I'm sure I would do a lot better in People's Choice Awards.
Next time you paint it, maybe.
No, that'd be another car.
No, you got to keep the original paint. I like that. Well, thank you so much. This is really awesome, and congratulations on keeping it since 1980. That's really impressive. That was the year I was born.
Yeah,
And
well,
the U.S. hockey team won the Olympics.
yeah,
Gold medal.
yeah. A lot of good things happened in 1980.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. What about the wheels? Talk about the wheels real quick. I've never seen these wheels on the Judge.
The honeycomb wheels. It's a polycast wheel. It's a steel wheel with a plastic insert, which is molded together. 71 was the first year for them. You can see them on cars, the Pontiacs later. 72 up to about 76 when they came out. Or 75 when they came out with the snowflake aluminum wheel. This is a 71 because the center cap is plain. The 72s and later had the red Pontiac arrow on them.
What makes this particular car, not necessarily the 71, but the GTO Judge, what makes the GTO Judge so special?
Well, maybe just Rowan and Martin's laughing and Sammy Davis saying, "Here come the Judge," because that's where they got the name from. That's, when John DeLorean decided to make a Judge in '69, Sammy Davis and laughing was the big thing, and he just grabbed onto the name.
Excellent. Well, I guess maybe that's it. Maybe it's the styling. I'm not really sure, but this is definitely an iconic car. You don't see many around these days. The last one I saw was a gold one about 3 years ago. It was parked. It was a beautiful day like today. It had this tack in the hood, which was an option, and it was a drop top, so the top was down. And I haven't seen one since, so it's nice to see them. I always smile, and they certainly are beautiful cars. It must be a lot of fun to drive.
Oh, it is a lot of fun to drive. I wish this was a convertible because in '71 they only made 17 Judge convertibles.
You're all about the Benjamins here.
Well,
Do you
yeah,
enjoy it a little bit?
I love it. I wouldn't have kept it this long if I
That's
didn't
true.
love it so much.
That's true. You could part with it at any point, right?
Absolutely. I've been offered, but not nearly enough.
What options does it have that make it stand out as opposed to another GTO Judge?
Well, the options, it's got the original 8-track tape player, which most people today don't even know what it is.
I would say that's true.
It's and the 4-speed, the Rock Crusher 4-speed transmission.
I was just reading on Engadget the other day. They were talking about failed electronics, especially in cars throughout the decades, and they called the 8-track failed. And I was like, why did that fail? It worked for the time. There was nothing else available. Why was that failed? They had some other things that were great that failed, great examples of things that failed. I can't even remember them off the top of my head. That was the one thing that stuck out. But all the other things had never really even made it into production. Or if they did, they made it into production for a year at tops. This was something that, had a shelf life and actually served a purpose back then.
Yeah, it did. Of course, 8-track tape was invented by the guy who built Learjets. He invented 8-track tapes, but because it was a single spool, it continually wound around. When cassette tapes came out, they were superior. They were smaller, they were more reliable, they didn't jam, and you could record your own. You never really had an 8-track that you could record at home.
Do you have an 8-track that you play sometimes in the car?
I do. No, I don't. It doesn't work right now. I'm looking for parts to repair it. I have at flea markets picked up some 8-track tapes. I'm trying to get the parts to repair
That'd be
it.
super cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Thanks so much, Dave. I really appreciate it.
Thank you
Enjoy
for
the
your
car.
time. I will. Thank you.
Check out the rest of our content here at the Concours d'Elegance from Greenwich, Connecticut. I'm Michael Artsis. Be terrific.
Welcome back. That was the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance 2015. I like that car. I'm not sure I'm crazy about that color, but I really do like the GTO Judge. Personally, a 70 or a 69 would be better. This guy likes the 71, not only because he has it, but also because he thinks it's worth more because it's more rare. He's right that the red color, which is really orange, was more popular. But that's a really, really awesome car, a lot of fun. He's wrong about the 0 to 60 time. I thought it didn't sound right. I looked it up. 7 seconds that year, 0 to 60, 7.71 for the automatic. And for 69.70 was like 6.2. I think that's what I wrote in the Slack chat. And then it was about 15 seconds quarter mile. Yeah, 6.2 in 1969 was the 0 to 60 time. And I'd like to see him burn some rubber and do some donuts in that car. But he said that he drives that car hard to this day, which I like. I thought it was interesting. In one of those shots Adam shot of the grill, you could see the horn, the actual horn for the steering wheel in the grill. I thought those were just big air intakes, but I guess they put some other stuff in there as well. Very cool car is the GTO Judge. By the way, that's the American Beauty car. That's the car he buys in American Beauty when he gets fired. So I thought that was cool, Kevin Spacey's character. Of course, Digital Phil says, wow, 8-track stock. That's amazing. It's so true. I should have asked him about a CB. That around that time, maybe it was a few years later, the CBs became really, really popular. A lot of Corvettes had them as standard features even. So that was pretty crazy. We've got some pictures to go through of cars that I'm going to tell you about, and some of them we have interviews on for tomorrow, and one more today. But we'll show you some of them. I'll tell you the stories a little bit as we go through them real quick. Adam, what was your favorite car of the day? Do you have a favorite car of the day? We got the Adam Cam going, by the way. Let's show everybody the Adam Cam. Finally got the Adam Cam back. Very happy.
There it is.
There you are, Adam, in all your glory. What was your favorite car of the day?
Well, I thought the most
If
interesting...
we haven't... Okay, wait. Maybe we should show the pictures first.
All right, yeah.
Because we're going to blow the pictures. Yeah. All right, so
All right, here we go.
Yeah. So let's see the picture. So there we go. I don't even know what that is. That's like a Model T Ford or something. I meant to go back and get that and find out about it, but I didn't. That was just the first picture.
What would you say? It's 1912, 19... I know there was a bunch of 1919 cars there.
Yeah, that's probably like a 1915, 1920, something like that. You know what? It looks a little too previous. There's got a crank there. That could be like 1908 to 1911, 1915 maybe. I will tell you, there were all these really cool old like Lincolns and Fords that I wanted to get to. We never got to them. It was so big, so much bigger than it had ever been. We never got to half of these cars. I think next year we definitely have to stream it live, and we have to plan it. and we have to spend 2 days there. So let's see what else we got. That was a cool car, though. This
might have been the best.
This might have been the best,
Yeah.
right? We got to see this start up. Hey, and by the way, in the Slack chat, since I mentioned CBs and you guys are starting to catch on to this now, I want you to put what your what your handle was if you had a CB back then. I didn't. I just played with them. I wasn't old enough to really. They became unpopular again. I never had a handle, but they were super cool. I loved them. I used to love. Sometimes police officers would show me the police car and let me talk on the CB a little. Cab drivers, I'd always make the cab driver when we go to the airport. Made me talk into the CB a little. So I want to know in the Slack chat what your handle was. And by the way, you can join our Slack chat, BeTerrific.com/Slack. Enter your name and your email. We'll send you an invite via email to join our Slack chat. Converse with us and our other viewers online 24 hours a day. And when we're doing the show, we'll read some of your comments on air and be able to ask your questions to our guests. All right, so this was a Ferrari, 1967 Ferrari 330 P3 P4. This car is really special because it won the 24 Hours of Daytona when first, second, and third. This was the first place car. The guy also owns a second place Ferrari, and that was right after Ford and the Ford GT destroyed Ferrari and everybody else in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, coming in first, second, and third, and really angering all these exotic car manufacturers. Ferrari came back with this. This was their answer, and this thing was stunning. We have a bunch of pictures of this. I even shot one from the cockpit so that you could get the feel of if you were driving it. This thing is worth crazy money. I don't. We're gonna look it up. I don't even know. But we got to see the guy who designed. We interview him. We'll play that tomorrow. Designed both. Who owns two of these, first place and second place. All right. What else we got? It was a cool car. It was very loud. And it was nice. And it was cool. It took him like 30 minutes to get in, but when he pulled away, it was cool. So there you go. That is the new Mercedes SLS. Pretty cool car. Gull wing doors. I like this car. I like gull wings. I think it looks cool. It's a lot of money, and I don't know. I'd probably want a Ferrari if I had that kind of money. But it was cool to see, and it certainly got that cross between a gentleman's sports car and a real sports car. It's long, though. It's a big car. It's a big V12 in there, too. All right, let's move on. You've got the Ferrari Enzo. This is kind of a throwback already, but it still looks pretty cool. The Enzo was the Ferrari. It was the F40, the F50, and then the Enzo. So this car came out right around 2000, I believe, 99, 2000. Very cool car, and no longer made. I think it was the first. Well, no, didn't the F40 have the clear back, or at least the F50 did for sure. This had that clear back over the engine, so you could see the engine without opening the hood. All right, let's move on. Oh, look at that! That was a '78 Lamborghini Countach. Orange with blue interior. This car was spotless. It was immaculate. It was beautiful. And it was a car that when I was a kid, I dreamed after, lusted after. I thought it looked super cool in orange, although I never would have ever picked that color, probably never would have bought that color. I've gotten a chance to drive a Lambo, especially a Countach. I've driven a couple of Lambos, but the Countach, what a terrible car to drive. Doesn't handle that well, can't see out of the car, can't back it up. You had to open those doors and sit on the back, sit on the side sill to back it up and pull it into a space, or have somebody with the with these, directing you like it was an airplane. All right, let's see what else we got. No, they changed the name, CJ. It's no longer the SLR. They changed it to the SLS, the Mercedes, by the way. I see that CJ says that. I'm pretty sure that that's what they did. Anyway, there you go. That is a Pontiac. That's a Woody, which I had when I was looking at this car. Jill loves those kinds of cars. It's cool. It's just classic. I wanted to do something on one of these too, and we just never got to. So much to do, Adam. We were there early in the morning, sun baking on us. We were there all day until they finished the show. That car is beautiful. You don't see many of those at all. Like even when you see different cars today and classics, you don't see something like that very much. I always would be afraid of having that wood splinter if we got into an accident. All right, let's check out the next car in the lineup. What do you think, Adam?
There we go.
There you go. That thing is a Chevrolet Commander. I don't know anything about the Chevrolet Commander. I never even heard of it before that. It's got to have some story. I almost wonder if the Chevrolet Commander was built and then they made the Corvette. Like this was the precursor to the Corvette. I'm going to look it up right now. Wait, first of all, I got to look up value of the Ferrari. All right, Adam, show us the next one. The Ferrari P3. Oh. whatever. I'll look this up during the commercial break. Let's see the next car. Oh, that's the Lambo again. You get the other side. I think we have an interior shot of that car that looks unbelievable. Oh, that's a GT, Ford GT, which is off the GT40, which this is a modern version. They don't make it anymore, but it's a couple years old, and it's beautiful. I really like the GT40 and the GT. I was glad when they made it, and I'm sad that they no longer make it. It would be nice to see, you know, this car again. It's fast and it's loud and it's cool. I can't find anything on the Chevrolet Commander. This is pretty unbelievable. I get a Jeep Commander. I don't know, Chevrolet Commander. All right, we'll look up that other car in a minute. CJ, have a great time at your son's basketball practice tonight. Go have fun. Sorry you're leaving, but go have a good time. There's the, of course, the Buick that we saw first, the Skylark Grand Sport convertible. Pretty sweet. He should have put the top down. It was such a beautiful day. Maybe he's shading the interior. All right, let's see what else we got. There's a, I think it's a '69 Camaro pace car. Pretty awesome. That's a Z28. Beautiful. It was quiet, though. Did you notice when the guy started that up, it was quiet, Adam?
Yeah.
I was surprised. Jack has that car as one of the slot cars from the Scalextric track. It's a little bit different, but that's pretty much it. What was that? That was the Yanko?
That was the Yanko.
All right, let's go with the next one. We've already seen the Yanko. Oh, there you go. You got a McLaren. That thing is sweet. That's the new McLaren. Beautiful. Miller Motor Cars was there with a whole host of cars, and that's one of the cars they brought. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll show you more cars, we'll have some more interviews, and we'll talk a little bit more about the weekend. You're the Terrifics. You make BeTerrific amazing and special. We'll be back with a whole lot more right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Rode microphones are the official microphones of BeTerrific. Find out more at rodemic.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Artsis Show. I'm Michael Artsis. Adam and I had a great weekend at the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance in Greenwich, Connecticut. We were checking out a lot of cars. I can't even tell you what this car is worth because I've heard all sorts of numbers from this Ferrari 330 P3, P4. I saw a P4 sell in 2009 for $12.4 million. So it's got to be over that because this has racing history, real racing history, and the guy we interview has cars that finished first and second, and it's two of the only three. I don't know how you put a price tag on that. I don't even know. I think it's something you can't value until he decides he wants to get rid of one and then sets a value at it. But we saw that picture a few minutes ago. We have a couple more pictures of that before we go to the next interview, and we'll have that interview tomorrow for you guys. I think you'll like that one a lot. It's pretty awesome. Let's see, Adam. We got a couple more pictures. That is a Charger, a Dodge Challenger, sorry. Dodge Challenger. I always get those two confused. And there you go. That's a Dodge Challenger. I think it's like a 70 Dodge Challenger. I wasn't that interested in that car. I'm not into cars like that. It's a stock car. It's racing. As much as I like that Ferrari, I like it because it's so rare. This is nothing that's special to me. But it's cool, but I wasn't that into it, so we didn't do an interview. I know you guys are into it, so took a picture. What else we got? That car. I took that picture because Jack has the little rollback one, the pullback one of that in red. It's like a 56 Caddy. Beautiful. Just stunning. These cars were gorgeous. I wish we could have done more interviews and told more stories while we were there. All right, let's go to the next one.
There we go.
There we go. Somebody took a twin turbo. Did you notice it was a twin turbo V12, Adam? Somebody took a twin turbo V12 engine and somehow stuffed it into that thing. They forgot the flux capacitor, but that is a DeLorean. That was on auction. They had an auction going there.
Did they have the price up for?
15 grand they thought it would go for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was thinking we could wrap that in BeTerrific or scratch it into the metal. We could have somebody key the car on purpose. I love that car. But you know what? That car didn't look like it was in that good a shape. I don't know. There were a lot of people oogling over it, but DeLorean, who would you have upkeep that thing anyway? It would cost so much to maintain, but a DeLorean would be so cool. It really would. It's such a dog, though, but with a V12, a twin turbocharged. I don't know. How cool is that bus we saw? They had a tour bus, like for racing. It was like from the British motor race team. That was pretty cool. It was like a rock star tour bus from like the 60s. I could have imagined the Beatles in it, yet it was British racing guys.
Yeah.
All the Jaguar guys were in it or something. All right, we got any more? I want to show, there's the Ferrari 330 P3 P4. That's the one that came in first. And by the way, this guy, Jim Glickenhaus, what a great guy. You're going to hear his interview tomorrow. Really just so nice. He wants us to go to the Nürburgring Ring and do all sorts of other stuff. But he lent his car to Microsoft for them to create Forza, and that car is in Forza because of him. I don't know that they got to drive it, maybe a little, but they certainly got to check it out, get the specs down, all that stuff. V12, that is a monster V12. All right, we've got one more car to show today. This was a guy, we're going to show his interview. This is Paul Chenard. He calls himself the most published automobile artist, and a really nice guy. We're going to have him on at some point again, too. And, you know, like every artist, he seems like he's a struggling artist. He drew that in, what, 4 hours while we were walking around the show. He sat in front of the Ferrari and drew that. Super cool. He let me take a picture of it. And he sells that. That's $550 right there, he said. That's not bad. And you get a digital print. You can blow it up huge and hang it on your wall or something. I don't know. Make a big fat head out of it. All right, so we've got this Buick Grand Sport. It looks like Big Bird. It's a special Grand Sport. And let's check out what Phil has to say about this Grand Sport. It's pretty ridiculous and pretty cool. And he, too, has the window sticker.
At the Greenwich Concours de Elegance 2015, I'm Michael Artsis. This is BeTerrific. Thank you so much for watching. You're the Terrifics. You make BeTerrific special. I have found something really special here. Speaking of special, Phil's got a 1973 Buick Grand Sport, and this is a Stage 1 Sun Coupe. This is pretty unbelievable.
Oh, thank you. It's a different car. It's pretty rare. They only made 45 Sun Coupes in 1973. Sent out to ASC, American Sunroof Corporation, to be done. This is chassis number 000092. First year that they started the new colonnade body style and brought back the Century nameplate. Like I said, they only built 45 of these. This is one of 23 with an electric sunroof operation. The yellow paint is a special company order, one of 4 Code Zero paint, and it's basically 90% original.
Wow. So you haven't restored it, you've kept it original, and it looks stunning and beautiful. How have you been able to keep it in such great shape, especially with, you know, you're talking the rubber, the seals, and everything?
Well, it's always good to drive them. So in the last 10 years, I would say I put around 5,000 miles on the car, approximately 500 miles a year.
That's not very much.
No, it's not very much. The more, as the years have gone by and I found out how rare the car really is and how few are left, I've been driving it less and less. I have some great mechanics, and she sits in an air-conditioned, climate-controlled garage. So.
And do you drive it to this day? You said less and less. Do you put 500 miles a year on it still?
Oh yeah, I definitely drive it all the time. I drove it here today. It's not a trailer queen.
What made this car special back in '73, other than the fact that it had the sunroof and the color? What did people want about this car? It was like a gentleman's sports car.
Okay. Right. A doctor's sports car, a doctor's muscle car. They were always sleeper cars. They only built 728 Stage 1s in 1973. They were a little secret, and they would go out and blow away just about every muscle car on the road, and kind of surprised a lot of people back then.
We're talking this car was probably like $5,200 to $5,500 brand new?
This car, the way it's optioned, was $5,795.
Wow. And how much horsepower?
270 net, which comes out to a little over 300 and something gross. They changed the ratings, how they did horsepower ratings in 1972, I believe.
Okay.
71.
I know that they did. I don't know the exact year though. I think you have a better handle on it than me, believe it or not. What options does it have inside that are special?
We can go through it right here. AM, FM stereo.
Is that the window sticker?
That's the window sticker.
Are you the first owner?
No, I'm not the first owner.
But you did get the window sticker.
I had the window sticker reproduced. All the original documentation is on that billboard right there from the Sloan Museum in Flint, Michigan. And it has the wholesale car order form, a copy of the invoice.
Wow, that's impressive. Now I know how you know the exact price of the car.
Correct.
Okay, so walk me through the options.
Sure. Well, I can take this out and show you.
Why not?
Why not? Start walking through them. The stage one basic price for a 73 Century was $3,057. $538 for $36 for the Grand Sport package with the 455 stage 1. It's got a turbo hydromatic 400. It's got fast variable ratio power steering, AM FM stereo radio with front and rear dual speakers, steel belted radial, Blackwall tires with specific suspension, air conditioning, tinted glass, bumper strips, bumper guards, door guards, sport mirrors, power windows, power seats, tilt steering, electric trunk release, electric door locks, side moldings, rally steering wheel. Of course, the sunroof came with a trailer hitch, trailer wiring, has a special car order paint, SCO paint, short vinyl custom roof covering, and custom trim with vinyl notchback seat. Total price was $5,794.45 in 1973.
Wow, pretty amazing. I love that you have that window sticker. I love the options, and I love that they sent the car out to have the sunroof put in, but it's really a factory option,
Right.
And they factory warranty it. Then that's pretty unbelievable. What makes this car special for you? Why did you seek this car out?
Well, I've always been a Buick person from my parents from 1964 when I was 6 years old. My first car that I bought for myself was a 1977 Buick Regal. And then after a few years, well, that car got stolen way back when in the day in Brooklyn. And then after 30 years of racing sports cars with SCCA, I decided to go back and buy a couple of muscle cars. And I saw this and I loved the body style, and it has a 455 which I couldn't get in 1977 in my Regal, and I had to have it. So I bought this. I have a 4-speed one of 92 that's being restored down in Georgia right now. So I just love these. I love the body style, and they're great handling cars.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. How long have you owned it?
I've owned it about almost 12 years now.
Wow. Very nice. All right. Well, Phil, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. We got to do more with you. We got to see the new car you're restoring now.
Hopefully it'll be here next year.
All right. Awesome. I'm Michael Artsis. This is BeTerrific. Check out the rest of our content from the Greenwich Concours de Elegance 2015 on BeTerrific.com. Thanks for joining us. Stay with us.
The funny part about that car is it's not like the most exciting looking at it, but it's a fast car, big engine, and I think the coolest thing is the guy has the window sticker because it shows you all the options and stuff. And that car had the engine upgrade, was a $536 upgrade. Seems so reasonable, except for the fact that that was a lot. That meant a lot back then. That was a lot of money. I don't know. What my favorite option on that car might have been was the engine upgrade. Like, I don't care about the sunroof, even though that was cool. It was interesting that they sent it out to do the sunroof, but I think that the coolest thing about that car was definitely the engine upgrade, and Big Bird Yellow was the color. That guy Phil has a couple other cars, so we're gonna have to check in with him regularly too. Maybe do a Garage Queens episode with him as well. Adam, we got a couple more pictures we're gonna get to and talk about the rest of the weekend, but we're gonna take a quick break. Is that true?
Yep.
All right, we'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere. You're the Terrifics. Stay with us.
Rode microphones are the official microphones of BeTerrific. Find out more at rodemic.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Artsis Show. I'm Michael Artsis. We've been showing you stuff from the Greenwich Concours de Elegance 2015 all day. We have some more interviews for you tomorrow. It's been a fun show. We have a couple pictures to show you, though, before we go. You guys are awesome. You're the Terrifics. You make BeTerrific special. Plenty of ways to reach us. Connect at BeTerrific TV or at connect@BeTerrific.com is our email, at BeTerrificTV on Twitter and Instagram. Of course, our Slack chat, BeTerrific.com/Slack. Sign your name up and your email address up, and we'll send you an invitation. You can join Digital Phil, Ben, Janny, CJ, Paul, and the Extender, and all sorts of others in our chat. It's a lot of fun, and we want you there. We can converse in real time and check in throughout the day. All right, we also put these pictures up there, so it's pretty cool. Check out these pictures here. What do we got, Adam? There you go. That's the Ferrari 330 P3 P4. That is the engine. Big monster V12. Pretty awesome. You've got the Lambo bright orange 1978 Lamborghini Countach. That is the beautiful navy interior. Look at all those gauges and that metal gated shifter. I love it. I love that thing. It's terrible to drive, but it's beautiful. There's the Ferrari again. That thing is sick. Look at all those valves, man. That is unbelievable. There's the interior of the Ferrari. I wanted to give you an overhead shot. Interesting, it's a right-hand drive, but look where the shift knob is, right on the right side, so you don't even have to learn how to drive like you're in Britain, you know? He's going to explain that, Jim, in the interview, all about that. That's an overhead shot of the cockpit. This is probably my favorite shot. Now you know what it's like to sit in the cockpit of that car. How cool is that? What do I bring you? I bring you what it's like to be in the cockpit of the P3, P4 Ferrari. I also went slot car racing, but I guess we'll have to save that for another day, Adam, because we've gone over. We did have a little technical difficulties today, but we did go over our time. So, eventually I think we're going to extend this to 2 hours a day because we always have so much to talk about. There really is so much to get to. In fact, I don't want to not say this, so I will say this. I'm a little disappointed that the Rangers got eliminated Friday night. I don't want you to think that I'm only going to talk about them when they win or only going to talk sports when it's something I am excited about. So it looks like a good Stanley Cup, the Blackhawks versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. And those Tampa Bay Lightning, man, they're fast, they're good, they're exciting, and a lot of ex-Rangers on that team. Brian Boyle, who I interviewed many times, Ryan Callahan, who I interviewed many times. I did an interesting story with Brian Boyle with the GH2, the only shoot I've ever really done with the GH2. And it was about the guys getting styled for a magazine. It was a behind the scenes. Maybe we'll pull that up at some point. But Brian Boyle going to be in the Stanley Cup Finals. And I guess I'm pulling for the Lightning. I'm not really pulling for anybody, but I really can't stand those Blackhawks, although they're really good. That Kane is something else, huh? All right. That's it for today. Ben says, Lambo, the worst car you feel you have to own. I don't feel I have to own it. When I was 6, I wanted it, but I don't feel I have to own it. What I did own was I had a black Lamborghini Countach RC car. That was awesome, and I drove it under like radiators and smashed the windshield, but it was a lot of fun, and it was super fast. It was a cool car. I actually knew somebody who had one growing up. Scott DeMast had a red one, I believe it was red, or was it white? I think it was red. Never got to sit in it, though, his car. He also had a Hennessy Venom Viper later on, and all sorts of other cool cars. Really interesting. I would tell my parents, oh, I went to this kid Scott's house, and he's got a Rolls-Royce Corniche convertible and a Lambo, and he had AMG Mercedes when they weren't, part of Mercedes at the time. He had a cigarette boat called Red Wind I went out on that was super fast. And my parents thought I was like talking about Matchbox cars. They came to pick me up once, and the cars were in the driveway because the garage was being painted. They were like, oh my God, he wasn't kidding. They thought I was like making it up or something. They had this was gorgeous, a black 930 slant nose Porsche, factory slant nose turbo, unbelievable. And I think they even sent it to Rough for some upgrades. And they once took it to a hockey tournament, and Scott was a goalie, and he shoved his pads in those 2 back seats that are like jump seats, and then the hockey bag took up the whole bonnet, trunk, whatever. And it didn't really work for being a car to transport you to hockey. But it was a cool car, a lot of gauges in that car. And that's a car I would love to have today, a 930 slant nose, like an 86. Oh, and I think he had an 86 Countach. It was a 25th anniversary Countach. Wow, was that some sight when I was a kid to see that. They also had an Excalibur. That thing was hideous. All right, that's all the show we have for today. I mean, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm looking at Ben saying, go Hawks. All right, Ben, good luck with your Hawks. And Adam, we'll be back tomorrow. You guys are awesome. For Adam, I'm Michael. You're the Terrifics. Thank you so much for watching You Make Be Terrific special. I'm losing my mind. I need to get some sleep here. It's been weeks that I've been up all night, every night. I'm up all night to get this working. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, be terrific.